Now let's see what other ships we can get in this transport here. The Great Sabot Destroyers. Ooh, this is amazing. This is a very good find because the Great Sabot Destroyer has one express purpose, and that is to eat ships that have high mass. At least 60x of mass are needed, and this thing is the main weapon is going to do 200 times damage. 500 would be insane. Then we also have a flak against a couple of smaller targets, especially low mass targets, but the flak cannon is nothing to really be amazed about. It's mostly just there to provide some assistance against strikecraft. Tritium sniper frigates also synergize very well with our translocator sniper frigates because they are infinite range and they are the base variant, and they can do some really good damage against strikecraft at long range. The heavy mine layer frigates help with slowing down enemies. They are also very durable, I read, and they can help our obstructor V-wings do more damage and help our zappers to get in range. And then we have a ship that absolutely doesn't synergize with that, the Shrike Interceptors. They do bonus damage the faster the enemy is moving right now, and basically everything we have is going for slowing down enemies, so yeah, they are not really synergizing that well, but later on we can split our ships up, create a couple of different fleets with different focuses, and hopefully we will find a good use for them. Then we also have an advanced research station that we can hack ships from. We have Stalkers. They are a more durable variant of the iBots and are extremely powerful against enemies that have a lot of energy use. They do a lot of damage, and they also are cloaked, as far as I know. Oh, hang on, no, they aren't cloaked. This is still a tooltip bug I somehow need to get rid of. We have Pillagers. They metabolize enemies, which means that we can gain metal from them once they die, when they have 10,000 stacks. They also latch onto enemies and do bonus damage to them. 7 times bonus damage, so yeah, they are doing quite the DPS once they have attached. They're also cloaked for real, and yeah, they should do well. Then we have assault frigates, and these are one of my favorite ships for their simple purpose of they take down structures, they take down heavily armed things, and they can also do something against strikecraft with their point of defense. They're basically an all-round ship that I really like. And then down here we have Scythe Wards. These are orbiting the flagship of the fleet they are in, and they are orbiting at a range of... it doesn't say here. Maybe that's another tooltip bug, or maybe I need to get some more text in here. That said, they are going to orbit our ships. They are going to send out beams with 90-degree angles, so basically 4 beams, 1 in each direction, and they are going to do a lot of damage when they hit enough targets. The wards protect your flagships, or deal damage around them, or do other stuff that helps them. So this is actually a pretty tough choice, because these are all good ships in my opinion. It may come down to which text we're going to choose when we decide. The only other source of ships, these are all alien tech, so they will not be we would not be upgrading them with any of these techs. Only the alien tech down here is important for them. The only other place where we can gain ships is the destroyer construction facility, and we have the Hellfire Destroyer, which has a ton of missiles that do bonus damage against low mass enemies. Oh no, against high mass enemies, or at least higher. No, at least 2 TX or higher. Yeah. So these would also be very good against turrets, because all turrets, as far as I'm concerned, have 2 TX of mass. However, this would mostly be useful for the AI, because unlike the AI, we rely a lot on turrets to keep us safe. They also produce kinetic wards. So what do kinetic wards do? They shove smaller ships away as they get close, so they are repulsing enemy ships, basically. Yeah, this is interesting. Then we also have the Nuclear Destroyer. And this has a miniature warhead that does a lot of damage at a longer reload time with AoE, and it spreads the AoE damage, and it also does damage through force field, or through shields at least, bypassing any personal but not bubble force fields. Then it also has an attack bonus if the enemy has 50% or more ships. So basically these are in a way similar to the to the, here, the, where is it? Oh, no, it was here. To the assault frigate. The assault frigate doesn't have that damage bonus, but it also does damage through shields, which, by the way, as a concept, in this game, ships have about a 2-to-1 ratio of hull to shield, but structures have about 5 times as much shield as hull in most cases. And this means that the ships that pierce shield can be moderately effective against ships, but very effective against structures. So yeah, that would also be interesting. What are its wards? Fusion wards, which unleash a more targeted assault, bypassing most shields. So yeah, these would be artillery and piercing tech. Then we have a couple of other options to defend ourselves with. We have the turret schematic server with Bastille turrets. They are ambush tech, and they do bonus damage when under force fields, 4 times to be precise. So they are something that we would basically put on or very near our command stations in order to keep enemies away. However, when the enemy comes close, they suddenly stop doing damage. So we really would need to keep the enemy at range. Makeshift turrets, they self-destruct. And, oh no, they don't self-destruct. They create a couple of drones. I was thinking of another type of turret. They create a couple of drones, effectively slow warheads, that go after the enemy and explode for pretty good damage. So technically these are sort of an infinite range turret, but they also do a good amount of damage up close. Briar patches, they are cloaked, and they slow down enemies. We already have them on our command station. At least our economic command station here. And last but not least, hailstorm turrets. They fire a lot of grenades that do bonus damage against enemies with very low armor and in an area. So these are extremely powerful against large amounts of strikecraft. None of these turrets, save for the makeshift turret, have amazing range. Oh, actually, no, the Bastille turret has 18,000, almost 19,000, so yeah, it has very good range. They would be Splash, Subterfuge, Raid, and Ambush. And then we have this here, the other defense schematic server, Metabolizing Gangsword Drone Hangar, which is melee tech and economic. So we could get basically metal from enemies invading, as well as a couple of drones helping us fight them. Area minefields, which are exploding in a larger area and dealing damage to enemies in that area. And they self-destruct when they attack. So that's how the minefield goes down. They only use 5% of their cloaking points when they attack, and they will self-destruct after just 5 hits. So this is going to do damage unless something decloaks it. It's going to self-destruct before running out of damage, so we will not be worrying about having only 100 health. Then we also have the station-keeping aggregate body frigates, which are station-keeper tech. They have a paralysis beam against enemies with not that much mass, and Viper twin repeater banks, which shoot at enemies and do moderate damage. However, when the enemy hits them, then the Viper corvettes start spawning from them. At least I think that's how it worked. So, these techs are melee, splash, and station keepers. Station keepers being here, and we will most definitely go into that, but not just yet, because we haven't built any station keepers just yet. We will do so once our metal is higher and we can start doing that. Now, I'm going to set this to none and put it next to the command station. When these transports here, by the way, let's move our fleet up here. When these transports have been on the planet for 5 minutes, they provide a boost to metal and energy income, which means that we can really get a lot out of these planets when we station transports there. Transport that we don't need anymore.